Greetings, hello, and welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Imperial Jedi, it's episode number 6. And for today's episode, we're going to be trying to grow our population and hopefully unlocking the 7,500 milestone. So that means more construction of neighborhoods in the hills, maybe a little bit more in town itself. And I'd also like to add a new interchange in and around our industrial sector, just to help out a little bit with the traffic volume. So it's not that our interchange here is doing a bad job or anything, but I think we can just kind of help alleviate a bit of the load going through here. And I do want to actually add that high-speed link we were talking about just in the previous episode. So lots to do. Let's jump right into it. Okay. So I've gone ahead already and put down the pipes just in this area here. So we're pretty much going to just draw out a few more roads and zone it up. Because unfortunately last episode we pretty much just blew the entire budget. Alright, so I think I'm going to continue straight with this. And actually I was considering going down and having, because we look at the hill right here, we've actually got a couple more plateau areas. So what we could do is continue the avenue a little bit further down and then split into two skinnier roads, just so it doesn't look like it's too much of a concrete jungle up here. And then we can start zoning in there as well. I think that should be kind of cool. And also just a fun way to kind of get some mixed use out of the roads here. Why don't we go about there or so? And then we'll switch over and then follow the same curve, just so it looks nice and symmetrical. There we go. And actually, we'll try and line up maybe with some of the anchor points here from the previous road, and that should look pretty darn cool. Oh yeah, I quite like that. Alright, now let's try for the same thing up here. And the same idea, let's try and line it up with some of the anchor points, just to get some symmetry out of the road network here. And if needs be, we can always terraform a little bit too, so if that's a bit crazy, which it is, I think we're going to maybe fix that. And then no surprise where this one's going. And the same idea, if we wanted to, we could terraform that, make it a little bit smoother, but I think that's okay. If it's very steep and you're on, say, the console, try doing a tunnel or maybe a slight bridge just to try and, work a bit better with the terrain. But I think that's okay. Stoplight should help with traffic. Looks kind of cool. And then we can upgrade some of these roads when we unlock them in the next milestone to the roads that have, the trees and like a little bit of a fancier kind of look to them. All right, cool. Now I'm actually going to switch over to 3-speed just so we can kind of start to save up our credits here. And I'm just going to draw a few more through streets. And then, again, the course of logic for this is if there weren't any streets here and a sim, say, lived on this side, lived on this side and wanted to go this way, instead of turning left, they'd go all the way down, U-turn, and then go that way. I guess it depends on the type of road. Here they would turn left, but it was, say, for example, a road that had a median, and they couldn't turn left. They'd have to do it at the next intersection point. So just to help our traffic friends out, which of course was the point of that little road we had there before as well. And then just for the sake of being able to zone a few more squares, let's just go ahead and throw that down just in a couple spots. But I'm not doing it the whole way through, just to stop traffic from using that as a throughway. And it really wasn't super necessary to have the road there as well, but I think this one maybe would look a little bit lonely on its own. Okay, so this can be some shopping. Or, better yet, the middle can be shopping. Some residents around it. Great. Excellent, so like that. And we'll probably want to drop down a few more services up here as well. And actually, this just reminded me, so these guys here calling for power. The city itself is just at the point where we actually need to buy a new power plant. And we just haven't actually have enough saved up right now, so why don't we head over to our industrial sector and just drop down another coal power plant. And I'm just going to move the power lines because I don't think we need them anymore. Just go ahead and zone this up. A little bit of shopping right there, sure. Okay. And we do have enough demand that I think we should be okay in terms of the the power. That should just move on its own. But if we come back and it's still like this, we'll of course drop down some power lines. Okay, so coal power plant. We actually unlock very quickly, shortly. Sorry, the new power plants, the oil ones, and those produce 120 megawatts. And I think these ones only produce 40. So what we're gonna do is just wait for this one. It's gonna be a cost of 50,000, so we're almost there. When we hit the next milestone, we also get a bit of a cash injection as well. So that should help us afford it. So let me just wait that out the extra little second. As suspected, power has made it, so that's good news. And we'll just continue zoning until we hit 5,000. And then when we hit 5,000, we'll drop down the power plant, and then we'll take a quick pause and look at what we unlocked. My goodness, a lot happened at once here. And I still would like to place down some services just in the new area that that we zoned. Same with over here, I guess, too. But I think the priority is going to be the power plant, though. Fantastic. So I'll put some more side streets cutting through here. Just so the people don't do these crazy U-turns. Perfect. Oh, of course, that was the area where we had the issues with the terraforming. Well, what can we do here? I think if we redraw that as one long road, it might change a bit of the profile. Not enough of it. So let's just take a quick little pause right here. I mean, worst case, we can always have a road that just goes like this, right? And that one just links in like that. I think it might just be a bit too steep to go up at that angle. So we'll continue going across, and then we'll hopefully link up to this street right there. Okay, icons are flashing. Luckily we do have a lot of money. Let's go ahead and place down our oil power plant, which is a very effective thing. Drop that close to where our new highway interchange is going to be. And since we're on pause, let's just go ahead and really quickly drop down the interchange. I already have something in mind. I need, though, a road on the other side of the street that is in line. So let's just go ahead and place that the whole way down. It'll make sense in a second. Get rid of course, that. And what I wanted was something so that, like, you know, when we're doing like a satellite overhead view, these are in line, those two streets. It'd be kind of hard, I think, to eyeball it. Okay, now I don't necessarily want traffic to go into the collector lane just like this. In real life, it's a little bit dangerous too, because this speed limit would be a lot higher than this speed limit. So you want something that merges a little bit more effectively. Or if you did have an intersection like this, you would have a second set of lanes just for a split right here. But unfortunately, the game mechanics don't necessarily allow for merging lanes to really work this way. So you can see the way the lane arrow. Actually, I'll kind of show you guys something cool here to help you out as well. So, goodness, how do you explain this? All right, so if I'm coming off the highway like this, and I have this upgraded to 2 lanes, right now the way it's set up, the right lane will be the one that is our exit lane. So this would be perfect for this setup right here, because this allows traffic to queue, and traffic that's continuing along safely goes straight. And we can see this with the evidence of the lane arrows here. If we upgrade this, that changes, but it kills this lane, because you can see up here there's no arrow. So when we get to this point where the node happens, we would see all traffic merge over to the single lane. And you'll hear a lot of people kind of complain about that, say how traffic's broken and stuff, but I mean really it's just how the traffic is set up. So I don't think it's broken or anything. You just have to learn how to understand and work with it. So with this, we would then continue this down, and we've now solved that problem. So you can see this is now going to the right and straight. This one just should be going to the right, perfect, and that one's going straight. So just keep an eye out for that. There are mods that will allow you to manipulate where the lanes end up going, but we're going to talk about mods and stuff a little bit later on. Don't even worry one bit. And then as far as this goes, so I did say I wanted to put a high-speed turning lane in. So I'm going to go ahead and just from this intersection over to here, and I'm trying to cut back on the total number of nodes I'm using. If we wanted to, we could maybe sneak that from over to here. if that would fit. I don't know if it's going to, but theoretically we could do something like this, right? But yeah, I don't think it's going to fit. Okay, just cuts back on how many times traffic has to kind of recalculate its route. And then what I would like to just slow this down a bit, we're going to make it into the city kind of like street style, not the highway, one-way road. And then now, hopefully, this going straight should just be for left-hand turns. We might still see some cars turning right, because we unfortunately can't stop them from doing that. But the game should eventually see this as the faster route. There's no more traffic light having to wait now, you know? And then same kind of logic with this. We want somewhere for the cars to back up. And I don't want to disturb this lane. So we're going to have our 2 lanes start not right, you know, at the very end, but right here. And that still keeps this, you know, as a separate to the right, that one going straight. And then same principle idea. So this one here is our lane that goes to the outside. Because this is 2 lanes, that one does it as well. So traffic can go straight or it can go to the outside lane. And this one will just go to this lane. So that means we get higher volume through here. And we have the ability for traffic to queue a little bit more effectively because we're giving them some more space for it. So we can turn it to 3-speed. We can watch this now. And then if we find that we actually need a bit more traffic volume through the collector system, we could just, in fact, make the entire length of it 2 lanes, which I think we're actually going to end up doing anyway. But this kind of stuff, though, I mean, really, like, do, you know, tinker around with it, try some stuff. Oh, we're starting to show some icons here for sewage. I'm going to go ahead and drop one of those down. And I really would like to put this elsewhere, because you can see we're starting to just break the riverbank a little bit. So this is probably the last one we can get away with placing until we have to switch locations. But we already know that our water and stuff is a little tricky and finicky with the current map. So once we get out to the harbor, everything will be a-okay. All right, much to take into consideration this episode. Okay, icons fixed, back on 3-speed. We are motoring again. This looks like it's doing okay. So hopefully cars will be on the right and awesome. Okay, time to make this work. So actually, I guess we can leave it running. What I would like to do now is add a 45-degree angle to our cutoff right here. So let's try and find, so 160. Just double check that, great. And we're gonna make this even on both sides. Just for getting that little bit of symmetry, you know? Okay, so that should be 160. It is grand. Just change that back for the moment. Okay. But yeah, just for the absolute name of pure simplicity, we're just gonna make the collector lane 2 lanes wide, and we'll have our highway 3 lanes wide, just the whole way down. And that will actually help a lot with traffic emerging and everything. But it's cool when you're doing kind of like a more rustic, rural feel, and you want to keep things kind of scaled down, and you're doing, kind of like what we did over here. Actually, we did that already. Just forcing traffic into lanes. So you're using the AI to your advantage, I guess. Kind of a tricky thing to explain here, but hopefully you guys are getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, keep it on 3-speed. All about that money. Great. Now, what we need, though, is a way to get from one side of the street to the other side of the street. We very well, in fact, could actually leave this the way it is, but traffic that's exiting here that wants to get to the other side of the street would have to use this bridge, so they're better off exiting here. So it's almost like we're not really doing all that much, right? But I like this. Seems to be helping already. And we can do a narrow bridge, say, from here over to here. I don't know if we planned that somehow or how that worked, but that seems to line up quite nicely. And so let's do the same thing again. I'm gonna pause it right here. Distance too short. See if I can get lucky here. No problem. Sometimes he's got to MacGyver stuff. And guys, also just a little bit off topic, but just kind of random as well. I've had a lot of questions come in about trains and like that kind of stuff. I have, coming up rather soon, a whole bunch of episodes planned for public transit and like trains, trams, all that stuff. So I'll be able to address all your questions and everything, but totally keep them coming. I know some of you are dying for some answers here, but I personally love trains. We're going to have way more fun than you guys can imagine with the trains in this episode, or in this series, I should say. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so this lines up. You know, I really would like these things to be gone, unfortunately. I don't know if we're going to be able to effectively do this. Okay, so it's a little bit crooked. We'll remember to change that over once we get rid of the dumps right here. But the idea would be, you know, these bridges, or this bridge, sorry, works well with these two. So you can get off, just do a quick little hop over, vice versa type thing. Bonus points, we can make these into roundabouts for faster flow through. Maybe make one of them into it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And we have a lot of money now, so we can extend their collector system. Okay, so this is working. This is great. Let's continue with our population. But actually, sorry, before we do that, goodness gracious me, I want to actually pause and go over everything that we got with our last milestone. So the busy town, 5,000. We unlocked a lot more just like policies and like planning. We unlocked some more unique buildings, and we actually haven't really used any of these yet. And also a little bit of an asterisk. In between last episode and this episode, we got the concerts DLC that came out. And the festival area, you actually unlock that at a pretty early on stage. So it's a population milestone of only 1,400. So we've technically already unlocked this. We can be placing it. I actually would like your thoughts on this, guys. So I was thinking for our concert, what we could do is this spot right here, or right on top of the hillside. So we can kind of have like, yeah, like a really cool, epic, you know, city in the background. And we can have a winding road that comes up through here. We can maybe have some cable cars eventually. So you guys let me know. Or in the lower one right here. That'll be kind of fun. So we'll talk about the concert DLC, I think maybe next episode after that type thing. But don't want you to think I've forgotten about it or anything like that. Or if you guys have any questions, you can totally feel free to ask me. But just in case you're wondering, that is. And also, before I go back, so the unique buildings, they are pretty expensive. That's why I really haven't used them too often. But we will eventually be placing a whole bunch of these down. And the reason why I've got more, and maybe this looks a little bit different than you, is I have some of the DLCs and stuff. Some stuff is free, so I recommend sneaking a peek. I'll put some of the free DLC downloads in the comments. But you know, things like this, right? Temple Complex. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a I think Pearls from the East, maybe. It's a Eastern theme kind of DLC, so you get like a bamboo stuff, Panda Sanctuary. It's pretty cool. Some temples, and there's also a Match Day DLC that has free parts. So you get stadiums, so some other cool stuff. But we'll go over all that as well. Okay. What else do we got right here? Now, the stuff that really excites me is we get more roads to work with here. So this is really cool. And we also get some bigger infrastructure and services, and you know, things like a bus station. So we're one step closer to being able to do some really fun stuff with our mass transit. All right, so we're getting some calls here for some services. Let's keep it on 3-speed. I think that's pretty much the bulk of everything we unlocked. We don't get a new area to purchase just yet, so we're going to keep on motoring for the 7,500 milestone. And I think with that one, we get another unlock. Yes, we do. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's just continue a little bit with this. Drop down some more services, get people to live right over here. And then we will call it a day. Yeah, the general flow for what I want to do with the city is maybe have another episode or two where we just grow the city slightly more, and then we'll pick a spot, have ourselves a central public transit hub, and then we'll make some corresponding smaller hubs through the city, and we'll link up a whole bunch of the transit networks, and I'll use as many types as I can, and I'll talk just in depth, you know, about each one, and I'll give you guys like all the tips and everything I possibly can think of for them. And then we'll kind of keep those, you know, like maybe one episode for trams, one episode for trains, maybe a little bit short, maybe a little bit long. We'll kind of see how we're feeling it. And of course, if you guys have questions, like that's where you can totally answer them. And if you guys want to help out with the questions too, maybe you guys can answer each other's questions. All right, so there's a few services in through here. We may have to double up, unfortunately. So this is not the most cost-effective layout. But when we add some more streets together, that'll help with the coverage. Because services, they are expensive. You want to make sure that you've got a lot of people zoned in and around them when you're putting new ones like this down. But we obviously plan on doing a big expansion, so I think we're okay. Probably don't need another police station up here realistically. I think the 2 should be more than enough. I mean, like, the crime rate in the city is 6%. I mean, that's so darn low. And then just in general too, we're going to be moving into high density as well very shortly. So we'll be talking about that probably in the next episode. And so you guys may have noticed I have some older videos on a lot of the topics I just kind of breezed over right there. I'm going to be basically redoing a whole series of my older content. So it might be familiar to some of you guys already. And when this kind of stuff lines up, I'm always just perplexed by that. Is it like a subconscious thing? Do we see this? I mean, it seems like we're scripting this or something. I think it's too sharp of a drop for us to do that, and it did just ruin that approach, unfortunately. This could actually be a little bit too steep in general. I think if I was in a car that wasn't an automatic, so I had a manual gear shift, that might be a little nerve-wracking. So if you're kind of stuck in gridlock at the middle point, right? But not impossible. But obviously, check your slopes. If you find this a little bit too steep, don't do a road like this. Just continue along with the following the contour, link up like that. It's just not as steep, right? But beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so whatever you find works. And we'll just link this over. I think we might need to be a little bit creative though with how this links up, just because of the way the hill kind of goes. So why don't we curve back in? That goes up as well, that's fine. And then we can just do one of those. Somebody's a little bit steep. So we'll just bring that out even wider. Oh, I love it, that's cool. So we'll zone this, and then this area in between, this dead space, perfect spots if we wanted to put down some parks, pathways, like that kind of stuff in between. Get a lot of people moving in through here. Drop down some trees, just the old beautification. And so why don't we just do a little bit of that, and then we'll end off the episode, just so you guys can kind of see like the before and after as well. And I think maybe just to make this area a bit more walkable and fun, I think we just need a hint of shopping in through here. I mean, just get people out of their cars and stuff, Alright, so as far as walking goes, let's use some dirt paths. We'll take a look and see. That's a little bit too steep for my taste. I don't think I would walk that in real life. And obviously, apply that, right? Like, think of how it would be in real life. Same like, bus stops, like that kind of stuff, right? And then if ever you're stuck for how to maybe, put a park or whatever in on your city, just take a look at how parks are in real life, just in your cities. Okay, I'm gonna try and get that to work. Just turn off the road guides. Almost. Now, you unfortunately don't get staircases in this game. But that could work. And again, the idea is, we just want someone to be able to walk up and through here. And if it ends up being a little bit faster than taking their car, they'll do their car at home, which is perfect. Might run into some problems there. And then where it's steepest, I'm just going to make it into a bridge that goes into ground level. And there's a good point here. A lot of trial and error, be creative. Cool. Perfect. Very simple, but honestly it works really well. And then I just like maybe one connection going from here to there as well. We might have just enough room in this little part. And your walking paths can also be done as a tunnel or as a bridge, so just if you need to, in case it's a little bit too steep in the grand scheme. But look at that, it's great, just what I'm after. And then just for fun, maybe one in between here. All right, now we can start putting down some rocks and some trees, And so the rocks, I mean, if you don't want to, obviously don't put them down. I think it's a little bit nice to have them though. So I'll start with a base of just some small little ones scattered about, and I'm going to rotate them here and there just so they don't look like they're too, too much of a duplicate of one another. And then we'll maybe just drop down a few of the bigger ones, not too many. And I'll put them possibly close so they have a little bit of that overlap kind of feel. Nothing too bonkers, right? These ones I really like, especially one on the slopes. It is tricky though to get trees to overlap with them, so just be aware of the size of those ones there. So maybe just a few. These guys here might be a little bit too big. It's kind of fun just getting some boulders in through here though, just like that. I like that. All right, now let's switch over to some trees. I'm gonna do this from the overhead. And so we'll start by using the trees that are in and around the surroundings. So we've got a lot of these ones already. So that would be 3 different sizes. The one on the right happens to be the biggest of the 3. And then you can choose the density, so don't feel like this has to be too crazy. So you just kind of say stop whenever you want, you know? For me though, I think that the variety is the most important thing. So whether you're doing a very dense forest or not, I think it's important to have different types of trees. It just adds a lot to that realism. So we're on a boreal theme map, which means we got the pines. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop down a lot of those. And I just like the size of them. I think they look really, really nice. All you nature fans might agree with me here. All these happy little trees. And just because a few of these happen to be in some of the assets, in the form of the houses that are coming in, let's drop some of these down too, right? So if we wanted to, this could be it. We could totally call her quits. Dunsky, right? So whatever you want. I personally like stuff that's a little bit more filled in. So why don't we increase the density? You can tell I'm just going a little bit, click crazy here with the mouse, but goal is just to get some more trees in through here. We might lose some when the houses zone in, but I wouldn't stress that. Great. Now you can kind of see like the rocks themselves are a little bit hidden. I think it's a nice little intermingle of everybody. Here we go. But definitely, I mean, if you guys remember the before and after, I just think like what a difference it makes to have the whole area just beautified, right? Here we go. So I think we'll end things off here, guys. Fun episode. Definitely a lot of everything happened here. So our new on-off system definitely working well. Bonus points because now the garbage can get into the industrial zone a little bit faster. Frees up a lot of volume over here. This just looks a lot better already. So on top of traffic problems before they even begin. And yeah, you guys let me know about the concert grounds. All right, well, I'll see you in the next episode. Happy building. Take care, and I'm looking forward to reading the comments, guys. All the best.